You are the master of your fate. Let's begin. That knot in your gut, that voice screaming, stop! It hits you when the alarm rings, when the project fails, when life just hits hard. You're tired, you're overwhelmed, you just want to give up. Many believe that sustained effort, that push to achieve greatness, is powered by constant motivation. But I tell you, that's a dangerous misconception. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, a fair weather friend that often abandons you precisely when you need it most, when life truly challenges you with relentless setbacks, crushing exhaustion, or painful rejection. And that, I assure you, is precisely where winners are separated from quitters. I spent my life studying the titans of industry, the quiet achievers, the people who built empires from nothing. They weren't always motivated. They didn't wake up every day brimming with excitement, but they possessed something far more powerful, an unstoppable mindset. They cultivated the iron discipline and raw mental fortitude to keep going, no matter what external circumstances or internal whispers told them to stop. This video is your wake-up call. It's my precise blueprint to help you cultivate that very same inner power. In this video, I will expose the brutal truth about motivation and reveal why discipline is your real engine for sustained success. I'll show you how to strategically leverage discomfort, how to silence that insidious inner quitter, and how to apply the psychological tools that champions use to push through pain, setbacks, and perceived failure. Your mind craves comfort. Your future demands sacrifice. It's time to stop waiting for inspiration and start moving forward, even when it hurts. You don't need more motivation. You need to become the kind of person who keeps going no matter what. Let's build your unstoppable mindset together. You've felt that initial spark, haven't you? That surge of energy when you start a new project, a new diet, a new goal. That, my friend, is motivation. It feels good. It feels powerful. And because of that feeling, you've been sold a lie. The idea that truly successful people wake up every single day brimming with excitement, eager to tackle challenges, always feeling it. This is a fantasy. I spent decades studying the greatest achievers, Carnegie, Ford, Edison. They were not perpetually enthusiastic. They were not always motivated. They faced crushing setbacks, deep personal losses, and moments of utter exhaustion. Yet, they kept going. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions, by their very nature, are fickle. They come and go like the tide. They are fantastic for starting. They are excellent for getting you off the line, for inspiring that first burst of effort. But they will not carry you through the marathon, especially when the terrain gets rough, the wind is in your face, and every muscle aches. This is the brutal truth. If you wait for motivation to show up, you will fail. Consider the problems with waiting for that fleeting feeling. 1. Procrastination's ally. Waiting to feel like it is simply a sophisticated form of procrastination. It's an excuse your mind offers to avoid discomfort or effort. It allows you to delay action indefinitely, trapping you in a cycle of good intentions and missed opportunities. 2. Reinforces weakness. When you tie your actions to your emotional state, you train your mind to be dependent on external stimulation or internal whims. This prevents you from building inner resilience. You become a leaf in the wind instead of a firmly rooted tree. 3. Leads to inconsistency. Your progress becomes a roller coaster. Highs of frantic activity when you're motivated, followed by long, unproductive lows when the feeling inevitably fades. True success demands consistency, a steady accumulation of effort day after day, regardless of how you feel. So, if motivation is unreliable, what is the dependable force? It is discipline. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is the unwavering commitment to a definite purpose, regardless of your emotional state. It's the engine that pushes you forward steadily, relentlessly through calm and storm. It's the decision to act, not just to wish. Think of it like this. Motivation is the spark that lights the fire. Discipline is the constant stoking that keeps it burning, long after the spark has faded. If you are to achieve anything of significance, anything that pushes you beyond your current comfort zone, you must stop waiting for inspiration to strike. You must instead cultivate the unyielding power of discipline. But how do you cultivate this unyielding power? How do you transform vague desires into consistent, powerful action, even when the spark is gone? It starts with the smallest, most non-negotiable steps. In the next section, I will show you how to leverage the power of non-negotiable action, the bedrock of true momentum and unstoppable progress. You now understand that motivation is a fickle ally. Your true engine is discipline. But how do you cultivate this unyielding power? How do you transform vague desires into consistent, powerful action, even when the spark is gone and every fiber of your being resists? I tell you, the secret lies in what I call non-negotiable action. Massive, earth-shaking results are rarely born from massive, sporadic efforts. They are the inevitable consequence of small, consistent, almost imperceptible daily actions relentlessly accumulated over time. This is the law of accumulation in its purest form. Most people aim for grand gestures, for heroic sprints of effort, but when motivation fades, those grand gestures become overwhelming. The real power is in the tiny, consistent commitment you make to yourself, commitment you never break. Consider how this builds unstoppable momentum. 1. Overcoming inertia. The hardest part of any journey is always the first step. When you commit to a small, non-negotiable action, you break the inertia of inaction. You get the ball rolling. This simple act of starting, even when you don't feel like it, is a monumental victory over your comfort-seeking mind. 2. Psychological wins. Every time you complete that small, non-negotiable task, especially when your mind resisted, you score a silent victory. This builds confidence. It reinforces your self-belief. It trains your brain to trust your commitments to yourself, creating a powerful feedback loop of accomplishment. 3. The domino effect. One small action, consistently completed, naturally leads to another. The momentum builds. You might commit to just 5 minutes of work, but often, once you start, those 5 minutes turn into 15, then 30. Your simple act of discipline sets off a powerful chain reaction of productivity. So, how do you put this into practice? You define your minimum viable action, MVA, the practice for your most important goals, the ones that truly align with your definite purpose. What is the absolute smallest action you can take every single day that still moves you forward? If you're writing a book, write 100 words. If you're building a business, make one sales call. If you're getting in shape, do 5 minutes of exercise. If you're learning a new skill, practice for 10 minutes. Make it non-negotiable. This MVA is not optional. This is the bedrock of your discipline. You do it even when you're sick, even when you're tired, even when you're unmotivated. It's a promise you make to your future self, and you never break it. Think of it like a river carving a canyon. It doesn't do it with one mighty flood. It does it by its relentless, consistent flow over time, slowly, persistently, creating something magnificent. This consistent, non-negotiable action transforms into a powerful habit loop. MVA becomes a habit. Habit builds consistency. Consistency creates momentum. And momentum, my friend, becomes unstoppable. But what about when that small action feels unbearable? When the mental resistance, the pain, the sheer discomfort feels overwhelming? You must learn to leverage discomfort, not avoid it. That is your next lesson. You've committed to non-negotiable action, understanding that consistency, not motivation, is your true engine. But let's be honest, even a small, non-negotiable action can feel unbearable when you're tired, when you're uninspired, or when the task itself is just plain difficult. This is where most people quit. They hit the wall of discomfort and they retreat. Your mind wants comfort. It is wired for survival, for ease, for the path of least resistance. But your future, your success, your growth demands that you push against that wiring. Comfort is the insidious enemy of progress. True expansion, whether it's building a new skill, achieving a physical goal, or overcoming a daunting business challenge, only happens when you step beyond your current limits. The growth zone is inherently the discomfort zone. If it feels easy, you're not pushing hard enough. If you never feel resistance, you're not growing. Instead of avoiding discomfort, you must learn to leverage it. You must view it not as a barrier, but as a forge where your mental toughness and your unshakable will are hammered out. Here are the actionable steps to embrace and leverage discomfort. 1. Conscious exposure. The practice. Don't wait for discomfort to find you. Deliberately seek out small, manageable doses of it daily. This could be something as simple as taking a cold shower for 60 seconds, pushing through an extra rep or set during your workout, choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator, or forcing yourself to stay focused for just 5 more minutes on a tedious task. The power, This intentional practice desensitizes you to discomfort. It builds your tolerance. It proves to your mind, through direct experience, that you can endure more than it suggests. Each small act of conscious discomfort is a victory over your primal urge for ease. 2. Reframe pain as progress. The practice. When you feel the burn in a tough workout, the frustration of a complex problem, the exhaustion after a long day of focused work, actively tell yourself, this is not pain, this is growth. This is my mind getting stronger. This is my body adapting. This is progress. You are literally rewiring your brain's association with these sensations. The power. This profound reframing transforms your perception of difficulty. It shifts discomfort from being a threat to an opportunity. Instead of dreading it, you begin to welcome it as a sign that you are pushing your boundaries and expanding your capabilities. 3. Implement the just 5 more rule, the practice. This is a powerful psychological trick. When you're working, studying, or exercising, and you feel the urge to stop, when your mind screams for you to quit, tell yourself just 5 more. 5 more minutes of work, 5 more push-ups, 5 more lines of code, 5 more pages of reading. The power. This strategy helps you push past the immediate, often emotional urge to quit. It proves to your mind that you possess more capacity than it suggests, breaking through artificial limits. Often, those 5 more minutes turn into significantly more, simply because you initiated the action. Think of a muscle. It only grows stronger by being challenged to the point of discomfort, by tearing down and rebuilding. Your will, your mental fortitude, operates on the same principle. You must apply resistance to grow. This consistent engagement with discomfort builds a spiritual and mental callus. It builds an inner reservoir of grit. It trains you to ignore the siren song of ease and to pursue the path of mastery. But even with this newfound embrace of discomfort, that insidious inner voice of doubt and excuses can still scream. How do you silence that quitter inside your head, that part of you that constantly seeks to undermine your efforts? That's your next crucial step. You've learned to value discipline over fleeting motivation. You understand the power of non-negotiable action, and you're even beginning to leverage discomfort as a forge for your will. These are powerful tools. Yet, even with all this, there remains one final, insidious adversary that can derail your greatest efforts: the inner quitter. Your mind is a magnificent instrument capable of building empires or crumbling dreams. But if left unmanaged, it can become your greatest saboteur. It will invent 1,000 excuses, 1,000 reasons to give up, to stay small. That voice that tells you you're too tired, it's too hard, what's the point? That's the inner quitter. These negative self-talk patterns and clever excuses are powerful internal saboteurs. They justify inaction, protect the ego from perceived failure, and keep you trapped in comfort. You must learn to identify and dismantle them systematically. Here are the actionable steps to silence that insidious voice and master your own mind. 1. Identify your go-to. Excuses, the practice. Most people have a few favorite excuses they lean on when they want to quit, procrastinate, or avoid discomfort. What are yours? Is it, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough time, it's too overwhelming, I'll do it tomorrow? Be brutally honest. Write them down. The power. Bringing these unconscious patterns into conscious awareness is the first crucial step to dismantling them. You can't fight an enemy you don't recognize. Once exposed, their power diminishes. 2. Develop a response protocol, the practice. For each of your common excuses, develop a pre-planned, firm, and rational counter-response. This is your internal script to shut down the quitter. If the excuse is, I'm too tired, your response could be, then do your 5-minute non-negotiable action. Tired. Effort is more important than feeling energetic. If the excuse is, it's too hard, your response, good. That means I'm growing. Take one tiny step. Break it down. If the excuse is, I'll do it tomorrow, your response, tomorrow's success is built on today's discipline. Do it now. The power. This proactive protocol short-circuits the excuse mechanism before it gains momentum. You're replacing a negative thought with an immediate, action-oriented command, training your brain to follow your will, not its whims. 3. Utilize future self, visualization, the power of identity, the practice. When the urge to quit is strong and your inner quitter is screaming loudest, pause. Close your eyes for a moment. Vividly visualize your future self, the person who never gives up, the one who achieves their grandest goals. See them, feel what they feel. Then ask yourself, what would that person do right now in this exact situation? Then act from that identity. The power. This powerful technique taps into a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself, overriding the weak, comfort-seeking present self. You begin to become the person who consistently keeps going because you're acting from that future reality. 4. Focus on the step, not the mountain, the practice. When you feel overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of your goal or the long road ahead, your mind often conjures a mountain that feels impossible to climb. In these moments, consciously bring your focus back to your immediate single, non-negotiable action. Don't look at the summit, just look at the next single step. The power. This prevents mental paralysis caused by perceived overwhelm. By focusing only on the very next manageable step, you maintain forward momentum and prove to yourself repeatedly that the mountain is conquered one step at a time. Think of your mind as a skilled debater. If you let it present unchallenged arguments for quitting, it will win every time. But when you learn to systematically dismantle those arguments with logic, with pre-planned responses, and with the powerful vision of your future self, you seize control. This disciplined mastery of your mind is paramount. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the architect of them. You've armed yourself with discipline, non-negotiable action, and the ability to leverage discomfort. Now let's look at the ultimate proof, how true champions, the real warriors of life, operate when the world is truly falling apart around them, and how you can adopt their invincible mindset. You've armed yourself. You understand that motivation is a myth, discipline is your engine, discomfort is your forge, and your mind can be tamed. These are the tools of the relentless. But what happens when the storms truly hit? When life throws not just setbacks, but a barrage of chaos? When it feels like the world is truly falling apart around you? Every great achievement, every enduring legacy is forged not on a straight, clear path, but in the fires of adversity. There is no smooth road to greatness. Expect setbacks. Expect pain. Expect moments where it feels like everything is collapsing. The difference between those who achieve extraordinary things and those who fade away isn't the absence of problems. It's their mindset during the problems. I watched the greatest leaders of my time face economic depressions, betrayals, and devastating personal losses. They didn't retreat. They didn't quit. They pushed through. Here's how true champions, the real warriors of life, operate when chaos reigns. 1. Detachment from outcome, attachment to effort. The practice. Champions understand that they cannot control every outcome. They can control only their effort, their attitude, and their persistence. When a project fails, a deal falls through, or a goal seems impossible, they don't attach their self-worth or their identity to that specific win or loss. Instead, they attach it to their unwavering commitment to trying again, to learning, to doing the work. The power. This frees them from the paralyzing fear of failure. They don't dwell on what didn't work. They pivot. Their pride comes from the battle, not just the victory. 2. Failure is feedback, not finality, the practice. For a champion, there is no true failure, only results and data. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection is treated as invaluable information. They dissect it, learn from it, adjust their approach, and then re-engage. The word quit is simply not in their vocabulary. Learn and adapt is. The power. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones. It accelerates learning and ensures continuous improvement. It makes every challenge a disguised opportunity for growth. 3. Focus on what can be controlled, the practice. In moments of utter chaos, when the market collapses, a personal tragedy strikes, or external forces seem insurmountable, the champion doesn't spiral into despair over what they cannot change. Instead, they narrow their focus to their immediate sphere of influence, their next action, their attitude, their breath, their response. They ask, what is the very next thing I can do right now to move forward? The power. This prevents overwhelm and paralysis. By concentrating on what's within their power, they maintain agency and momentum, even when the world around them feels out of control. 4. Relentless resourcefulness, the practice. When confronted with a seemingly insurmountable problem, a champion doesn't just see a dead end. They immediately begin searching for alternatives, for new paths, for unexpected solutions. They ask, if this path is blocked, what are the 5 other ways I could still achieve my aim? Who could help me? What have I overlooked? They are relentless in finding a way. The power. This fuels innovation and adaptability. It ensures that no single obstacle can permanently derail their pursuit of their definite purpose. Think of a seasoned boxer. They may get knocked down. They may absorb punishing blows. But with every impact, they learn, they adjust, and they always find the will to stand up, to re-engage, to push through. That, my friend, is the unbreakable spirit of a champion. It is not about being fearless, but about acting despite fear. It's about an iron will forged through repeated acts of pushing through discomfort and overcoming self-doubt. You have the blueprint. You have armed yourself with the true nature of motivation, the power of non-negotiable action, the forge of discomfort, and the mastery of your own mind. The power is within you. It's time to commit to becoming the champion of your own life. In our final section, I will give you the ultimate motivation and the immediate powerful action steps to make this unstoppable mindset your living reality. You have now completed a profound journey. You bravely faced the brutal truth about motivation, committed to the power of non-negotiable action, learned to leverage discomfort as a forge for your will, and, most importantly, begun the process of silencing the inner quitter within your own mind. The ultimate victory belongs not to the most talented, but to the most persistent. It belongs to the one who, when knocked down, always finds the will to stand up and keep moving forward. Understand this truth deeply. The feeling of wanting to quit is not a weakness, it is a signal. It's a signal that you are pushing your limits, a sign that you are on the brink of a breakthrough. Your unwavering discipline and mental fortitude are the keys to unlocking that breakthrough. You possess the power right now to cultivate an unbreakable spirit that will serve you in every aspect of your life. In a world where many silently retreat at the first sign of resistance, you now possess a rare and profound advantage. You have chosen the path of unwavering persistence, the intentional construction of an identity that simply does not quit. Stop waiting for a feeling to move you. Act with discipline. Stop avoiding discomfort. Embrace it as a forge for your will. Stop letting excuses win. Silence them with your actions. The goals you've set, the life you've imagined, the profound impact you wish to make, all of it now demands your consistent, unwavering action. It demands that you take command of your thoughts, trust in your own resilience, and act with deliberate intention day by day. Do not let unconscious habits or others' limitations define your future. Forge an unstoppable mindset. Execute your blueprint. For in pushing through the pain and the doubt, you are not only achieving your goals, but you are also forging an unbreakable spirit that will be your greatest asset for the rest of your life. Your unstoppable future awaits. You've now gained a comprehensive understanding of how to force yourself to keep going when motivation falters and life hits hard. You hold the blueprint for cultivating an unstoppable mindset. This isn't just theory, it's a practical, actionable system designed to build the mental fortitude that separates winners from quitters. To ensure this knowledge transforms into tangible results, you must put it into immediate, consistent action. Here are the key takeaways to ingrain into your mind, followed by your immediate practical assignments. Key takeaways for an unstoppable mindset. 1. Motivation is fleeting. Understand that motivation is an emotion. Discipline is the consistent engine of progress. Don't wait to feel like it. 2. Non-negotiable action. Commit to small, daily, non-negotiable actions, MVAs. These are the bedrock of building unstoppable momentum and consistent progress. 3. Leverage discomfort. Embrace discomfort as the forge for mental toughness. Consciously expose yourself to it and reframe pain as a sign of growth. 4. Silence the quitter. Identify your go-to excuses and negative self-talk, then apply a pre-planned response protocol to dismantle them. 5. Champion's mindset. Learn from setbacks. Focus on your effort, not just outcomes. Control what you can, and always be relentlessly resourceful. Now for your immediate, real-world assignment. This is where your commitment meets practical, daily action. Do not let this vital knowledge remain dormant. Implement it, starting today. 1. The morning discipline trigger, tomorrow morning, 1 minute. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings and your mind screams for comfort or hits snooze, immediately sit up. Do not allow yourself to lie down. Before you do anything else, commit to one single, non-negotiable action. For your most important goal, for example, 5 push-ups, write one sentence for your project, review your definite chief aim. Do it within 60 seconds of waking up. This trains your brain to obey your will, not its impulses. 2. The excuse neutralizer. Next time you feel like quitting. The very next time you feel the urge to quit or procrastinate on an important task, consciously identify the exact excuse. Your mind is offering, for example, I'm too tired, it's too hard, I'll do it tomorrow. Then, verbally, even if whispered, or mentally, immediately apply your pre-planned response protocol from Section 4. Act despite the excuse, even if it's just your MVA. 3. The discomfort embrace. Daily, 5 minutes. For the next 7 days, identify one small, manageable discomfort you can consciously expose yourself to for 5 minutes each day. This could be a cold shower, a slightly longer walk, pushing through a boring but necessary task, standing while working instead of sitting. Do it deliberately, and as you do, tell yourself, this is growth. This is my will getting stronger. You are equipped. You have the blueprint. You possess the power within you to conquer inertia and achieve your greatest ambitions. Do not shrink from the magnitude of your own potential. Embrace these principles, for in forcing yourself to keep going, you will not only achieve your goals, but also forge an unbreakable spirit that will serve you in every aspect of your life. Your unstoppable future awaits. Which of these mental weapons will you pick up today to become truly unstoppable? Share your commitment in the comments below. Let's build a community of relentless achievers. Remember, your success begins the moment you decide to act.